Marshall knows something about Dylan. Is he here? Is he alright? HRAs first. They'll help save everyone, including Dylan, once I find him.
Greetings and salutations, folks. Oh.
Like you do with me.
And welcome back to Control, where I like it's neat that that section has been opened up to me, but I figure it's probably a good idea to actually continue the main game, especially because of the Metroidvania style that this game employs. It's something that I've heard was like a main complaint in regards to this game, and I think I can understand why. And it's largely because of how, like, looking at these side missions, they're specifically pushed back. Like, I can't investigate the training court. Actually, I might be able to do right now. Maybe that's where it's sending me. I can't investigate the X-ray lightbox object of power. Investigate the safe room, because they're all kind of, hidden behind skill walls? Ability walls? Like, the training room is right behind here, but I can't actually access it. Ooh, hold on, BlackRock processing? I didn't actually notice that. Or maybe I just forgot. There's a high potential I forgot. Oh, hello. That guy dropped nothing. Oh, hello. Oh, I'm using the pierce. There we go. Oh. Nope, he got healed by his own healing elements. But unfortunately, this guy has nowhere to run. So I can just stand here and reload. So yeah, I can kind of see that complaint, especially because of how it seems less like a Metroidvania is like you explore an area and a big area, and you're slowly gaining abilities to explore each individual corner. Whereas this game seems to have what I'm predicting is going to be more endgame sorted content. So you would spend your time going on the main path, and then once you're done on the main path, then you start unlocking the endgame content. As opposed to like that traditional Metroidvania where you're kind of slowly accumulating power. But again, I guess I'm not really entirely sure how large this game is. Okay. That does not seem like a good time up there. Ooh. I guess there's something I could plug that in. Or I can just hurl it into the spikes and hope for the best. Let's see if there's something I can actually plug that in so I don't just waste it. A platform game this game has suddenly become. Alright. But yeah, we're heading over to the BlackRock processing, specifically so that we could acquire some more BlackRock. I don't know how many Marshall expects me to carry on my person at any given time. Also, I'm not entirely sure whether I need multiple BlackRocks or just need a focusing point in order to create the HRAs. Okay, so that's definitely an entrance to the Blackrock area. Is going to be through the Ocean View Motel. But I'm just going to see where this actually goes. Just real... Oh, no. Ah, damn it. Where am I? Oh, I just went back to where I was before. Okay, so I'm not too far back. I haven't lost. Oh, but now I have to do the platforming again, which I suppose isn't that terrible. I've played worse platformers. Some of them even claimed to be platformers themselves, and had worse jumping mechanics. Like, recently I picked up, what was it, the Sega Genesis Mini. And Earthworm Jim, for as classic of a game it is, the jumping mechanics are extremely loose. That requires a lot more practice, if I expect to actually get anywhere in that game. Traverse the Ocean View Motel. Still locked? What is the puzzle this time? Hold on. What floor am I on? Because the previous floor was on floor 2. Yeah, this is still floor 2, so... And the door and the bell still opens up these 3 rooms. And there was that dialogue that was going on in the background talking about, like, a hotel that they passed up. And I feel like that's also supposed to kind of be that like universal dialogue. Okay, I can tuck in the chair, and I can shift over the radio. Let's take a look at the other rooms. Maybe the other rooms are, each room is exactly the same as each other, and I'm supposed to mirror each room. So radio on the right, chair is untucked, plant is on the left. Oh, is the portrait level. Portrait is level, chair untucked, radio on the left, plant on the left. Does that satisfy your insatiable hunger motel? That just closes the middle door. Huh. Or do I want to create the opposite? Let's see if there's a clue of some sort. Because there isn't a clue on the Black Pyramid. The Black Pyramid will tell you nothing. Let's look inside this first room. How about we'll do the opposite of what's, So we'll have the chair tucked in. The radio will be on the right. The portrait will be askew. Can I do anything while the second room is closed, but the first room is open? The answer is no. I don't know if I'm expecting, like, if you shift everything in their correct positions, does that cause the bell to unlock door number 3? Okay, I think I have, either the objects in the wrong positions. Well, obviously I have to have the objects in the wrong positions if the game is deciding that it does not want me to keep going. So, 1 second while I figure this out. Ah, okay. I don't think I noticed the third door opening. Okay, so I just had to make the rooms identical, and I did not explore farther enough ahead. So let us continue on, open up the pyramid door, and proceed to Blackrock processing. You know, I would imagine this would make traveling about... Actually, I take that back. Traveling about the old house is probably incredibly inconvenient regardless of what you're doing. Okay. What did that unlock for me? I presume that unlocked something. Or did it just extend that bridge? It probably just extended that bridge. So now I have to figure out how to get to said bridge, which is probably the reason why we have this roundabout that connects itself back to that previous area. Let's see, that's the con I've got. Go. Okay, so previously when I came to this area, I went over to the end of the, just stepped over here and it's like, oh no, there's no way to get to the other side. So yeah. Very much a little bit more of a Metroidvania than I would have expected, considering their pedigree. It definitely makes the building itself more interesting.
To Blackrock processing. That's where Marshall said we'd find a prism.
You know, I was hoping to get in without busting down walls, but... It is so bright in here. I cannot turn down the light. There we go. Now it is not quite as bright. Atlas theory? The Atlas is a physical expression created by the oldest house. Its purpose and function are currently unknown. The specific shape and dimension of the Atlas, see file ATL3 for said dimensions, seem to indicate a more explicit purpose than the oldest house's usual walls, floors, or shifts. The Atlas changes form but resists observation when doing so. It doesn't like to be watched. No visual observation has been made during its change, and it only ever occurs between frames when monitored by surveillance cameras. So that kind of reminds me of a dumb joke that I tell people when it's raining. Like they look at the rain and they're like, I don't want to get wet. And then I would just tell them, just step between the raindrops. It'd be that easy. It's doing its change in between frames of recording. A previous theory was this change corresponds to house shifts and that the Atlas is a redacted of the redacted itself. That the Atlas is a object of power of the astral plane? Is my guess, maybe? Also, maybe it doesn't happen in between frames as much as that it cannot be recorded visually. It's kind of like the color. It's kind of like infrared. Just because you can't see it does not mean it's. Ooh, no. It's like X-rays or radiation. Just because you can't see it, it doesn't mean it's not killing you. However, the shape changes do not occur at the same time as the building shifts, which makes this theory doubtful. Unless, of course, the shape changes happen before the building shifts. In which case, the shift is a effect. Like it's the cause and effect. So you have the cause being the shape change of the atlas, and the effect being the change in the building. Or the atlas changes to resemble the building, and it's the other way around. Structurally, the atlas is made of the same black rock material as the rest of the oldest house. Further observation will hopefully aid in discovering its purpose. I'm not at clearance level 5, I think. I don't actually need to use the bathroom. Whether it be the men's bathroom or the women's bathroom. Alright, which way shall I guess I'll go this way because it seems like it has this... That is just the way I came. I probably should not go that way. That's the way I'm trying to go, but it's locked, so let's go upstairs. Ooh. Launch efficiency. Oh, then there's a path over here, too. Excellent. Judging by the noises in the background, there's either some sort of terrible machine going on, or there are guys who are going to shoot at me. Or they're shooting at somebody. And there's just a big old fight going on here. No, I will save you, maybe. You will maybe live. Whoever you are, brave soldier of the FBC. Oh my god. I think I barely even noticed that rocket come out. This area is clean. Speak with Arish. Okay. I was gonna say, I thought the presence of security guards fighting dudes up here was a bit unexpected considering how far I am from most people, but I guess if there are people here... almost. Are there stairs on this side that make that convenient? Yes, there is a staircase. So now I can collect whatever is inside this thing. Oh, hello.
During an AWE investigation, our agents discovered a light switch cord in a Butte bungalow closet. They pulled the cord and were instantly transported to the Ocean View Motel and Casino. Dream like hell. Inside, they found a door marked with an inverted black pyramid. And just like that, it led back to the oldest house, some 2,000 miles from Montana. Now we're finding the cord in increasing numbers throughout the Bureau.
Interesting.
Places, they became in tune to each other. The actual physical location of the Ocean View is a mystery. Stepping beyond its walls has so far proven impossible. A place of power.
So not an object of power, but a place of power. Also, that's an interesting point in regards to the idea of, like, why did the light switches appear here as well? Okay, I have no idea what they're saying. So, like, the idea that, like, their trip out to that one location, like, the light switches did not exist here until after. What? Hold on. I was presuming I need to go up there. But it doesn't seem to connect? Or am I not finding the connection? There we go. Oh, give me shelter. So yeah, the fact that the light switches, not just because of their their transportation to the oldest house, they created more connections to the Ocean View. Also, how did the Ocean View essentially connect to the oldest house in the first place? Was it because of the people who went there? Oh yeah, it's this guy.
I'm not doing so hot. You're fine. We'll push through this. The hiss are the ones doing the pushing, Doc.
You either get busy pushing or you get busy dying. Have you noticed the recent tension between Trench and Darling? They've both been acting odd lately. Trench concerns me the most. His sudden hostility towards Darling's project is very unlike him. He was the one to approve all this Hedron research in the first place, but after Darling unveiled those HRAs, he was livid. I personally don't see any reason not to equip Bureau staff with an additional protective device, especially not if it's as strong as Darling says. What do you make of this? Have you seen anything from either of them that strikes you as odd? Let's talk in person soon before the next Bureau heads meeting. Well, considering the fact that the HRA, like, Darling doesn't actually know what the HRA does, is problematic. Which is also means that maybe Trench recognized the HRA from a vision and maybe can foresee his own death.
Thanks for bringing down that... whatever the fuck that was. But we are barely holding on here, boss. How's the situation outside maintenance?
What do I tell him? The truth is harsh, but these people seem familiar with death.
The hiss are everywhere. Most of the Bureau is lost. We need Blackrock Prism to make more HRAs for any survivors in the safe rooms. I'm here to check Darling's Blackrock lab.
So to recap, death, disaster, and imminent destruction.
Yep.
Well, Darling's lab is just past Blackrock processing. I got
Just
bad news on that front.
You thought the time that you came to Federal Bureau of Control...
So that's great.
Monster.
hold on.
Ranger said. The ones that survived, anyway. We are just treading water here. And
If it's a monster, then it has to be some sort of object of
South don't know
power.
what to do, but apparently he took a security team into the containment sector just before the lockdown happened, and well, no one's seen him since. But hey, at least we got you, our fearless leader.
They shouldn't rely on me. They don't know me. They don't know how I've failed people.
Again, that is interesting about her mirror to Trench,
You should take
where
heed of
Trench
this
is
with
also
David's
like that
death.
guy who's like, the only person you should fail is yourself. and the idea of taking the responsibility for
I'm getting kind of used to them.
Aye, Faden.
having people have faith in you. It creates some similarities between the two characters. Also, oh, so you thought the day that you came to this secret facility in search of your brother was the most significant day of your life. For us, it was only Tuesday. Okay, I'll move on.
Oh yeah? They're gonna have to be. We are moving out at night.
We're not investigating strange phenomena and controlling bizarre objects of power, not for money, not for evil, but good. Okay, I'll stop now. Why does his, yeah, I don't know, for some reason the reticle just, like, I was able to target him meaningfully? Maybe that was just the way, like, see how it doesn't change? I guess it does change when I get closer. Like, maybe that's how they kind of, program the dead bodies.
Alish wasn't kidding about that monster.
And because of the new take on in-game sponsorships, it is an actual Monster energy drink that has gained consciousness. No unique procedures required. The Swan Boat. Item is made of fiberglass, painted to resemble a swan. Foot pedals allow the item to propel forward in water. The item emits a pulse of physical force at an estimated force of redacted, possible connection to objects of power 5. Measuring the exact force created by the item has been hindered by concerns from the Human Resources Department. The item was seized from an activity rental service called Redacted, located on Lake Redacted on Vancouver Island, Canada, after it ejected numerous riders over the course of a summer, bringing the boat to the attention of the media. The item was transported to the Bureau by helicopter. A containment specialist accompanied it, sent to recite formulas C9 through 32 recursively. What occurred in the helicopter is not known, but all agents were lost in the crash. The item was recovered and then transported by train. It arrived at the Bureau without further incident. So basically that swan has been killing people way before Jesse showed up on the scene. Also, you could say that after they got that boat on the helicopter, that helicopter took a swan dive.
You showed me the HRA when I first got here, and the machine that makes them. Can you help me find a prism?
That does not look safe.
Wait. They're shattered. Not a single prism left. What the fuck?
Okay. Also, I hit the melee button instead of the dodge button, which is what I should have done. Ah, interesting. So it's like it's appearing and then it's doing like a melee attack. Huh.
Let's hurry up and find Darling's lab.
Interesting. It's got some flat carts. Fantastic. Again, I think I mentioned this earlier, but it's interesting how much focus Remedy tends to have on like warehouses, just like industry. Like you look at Max Payne 1, Max Payne 2, they both feature warehouses prominently. Max Payne 2 especially because of the more destructible physics, while also kind of keeping things simpler. So it makes sense for you to have like bigger areas with stuff strewn about, as opposed to like tighter areas like an office building, perhaps. This is not your traditional office building, as
There are areas in the oldest house where, under the right conditions, when the frequencies match, other dimensions leak in. We call these areas thresholds. The quarry is one of the more stable thresholds in the maintenance sector. That's where black rock comes from.
You heard that too, right?
Dimensional matter.
Black rock
It
comes
has
from
the
a
unique
threshold.
property of blocking out a lot
Quarry.
of frequencies that
so the black rock comes
The
from
prison's
another
must be there,
dimension.
too.
contain. Think of it as paranatural lead.
Also,
Our research involves many dangerous things we absolutely need to keep in check. That's what the Black Rock Line fire breaks are about. The panopticon container cells.
Sorry to interrupt, sir, but I need to
Oh.
go to the quarry elevator.
Oh, Emily. The codes. Black Rock 665. Neighbor of the Beast. Get it?
she does not appreciate the Max Payne reference.
We can do that again.
But that's kind of interesting because Jesse interacted with the secondary data material. Most of the time that secondary material kind of sits around in video games. Oh yeah, there was a side mission, like a timed side mission that showed up, and then I forgot about it.
Darling's key.
Ooh.
This should get us into the quarry.
Oh, also apparently I'm stocked up too high on these. Ooh, I got some level 3 bonuses. Energy gain from headshots. I'm not that accurate. Zoom. Okay. I'd rather keep rate of fire. Let's... Ammo cost per shot. Only 5%? That doesn't really sound that exciting. Okay. So let's get rid of all of this. We're going to keep those level 4 scatter upgrades, though. Just in case I ever switch the scatter back in. I might actually do that because I don't think I use Pierce quite as much. What do we got here? Let's see, I got health recovery on element pickup is what I'm using right now. I don't have one that generally replaces that. So I'm going to get rid of this. Okay. And now I have level 5 clearance, which is very useful. But yeah, so most of the time in video
Everything
games...
here is crazy. Weird, but it feels right. Like how the world should be. I am in an infinite building leading to different dimensions, and I never want to leave.
Is she speaking for the
Even with
gamer
all the
or for
horror,
herself?
I'm happy. It feels just the right kind of inside.
Again, is she speaking for myself or herself? Oh, hello. Take a chair. But anyway, there are a lot of games that have secondary material that you run around, you collect. BioShock has its audio files. System Shock has its audio, its text. There's plenty of games that have emails for you to read. But characters generally don't interact with the secondary material. When Alan Wake watches an episode of Night Springs, Actually, I take that back. This is a Remedy thing, I guess. In Alan Wake, in the DLC, an episode of Night Springs plays, and Alan Wake and his agent, I forget what his name was right now, but they comment on the fact that, oh, is this one written by you? And they're like, oh no, it's somebody else. Because he had apparently written a couple of Night Springs episodes. But most other games, like, if you read something, that generally isn't commented on. So the fact that Jesse watches this video with Dr. Darling, and then she's responding to that video, that's interesting. And I guess I probably should claim this control point. Oh, hello, how are you? That guy looks like he wants something thrown at him. Probably a pallet jack. I had to remove the pallet jack from the pallet first. Makes sense. Although it makes the physics of this game very interesting. If I needed to... If I actually needed to worry about wriggling that pallet jack outside of the... Nope. I will kill you. Stop squirming. Damn it. There we go. Anybody else? Is that my quota for this area? Also, this is a very big area, like a vast open room that is not really intended to be explored. Or at the very least, it's not that big. Or not that much stuff in it. Dynamic energy extraction and conversion. The NSC was designed by the order of Deputy Chief Trench shortly before he became director. The container provides a safe method of extraction of Redacted's excess energy output while acting as a humane way to house him. Hold on. Is this referring to the monster? Is this referring to the furnace? The coolant pumps keep the container and its redacted from overheating while the energy is siphoned. The energy is then conducted to the converters, where it is rendered into a redacted through the use of turbine generators. The electricity produced powers the entire bureau, making us completely self-sufficient and effectively invisible on the New York City grid. After NSC-01's disappearance by some unknown manifestation of Redacted's power, the occupant was restrained and a second model was built. NSC-2 possesses built-in spatial anchors that are designed to prevent any translocative effect from its occupant. So they mentioned how, like, when you fed the furnace, it was mentioned that, like, it was an entity in itself. So that might be the monster that has escaped. Is the one that's being used to power the building. But then how is the building getting any power if that monster had escaped? Oh, you... There we go. The notion of fan death has now become widely known in the region, since foreign investigator Redacted met with a local journalist to explain how electric fans operate at speeds that may suffocate users by overly disturbing the air. As our agency is still young, we must take care to avoid missteps. Any explanation given to the public must provide sufficient, yet vague rationale that will reaffirm their certainty that ours is a stable, controlled world. We must tread carefully, especially in this increasingly technological world, with the radio and other innovations allowing information to travel at speeds previously undreamt of. This is precisely why we insist that our department handle all communication with public bodies. With all due respect, William S. Powers, head of the Department of Public Knowledge and Diversions. Ooh. You know, that's got to be an interesting department to work for, because it's like, it's in the name. It's in the name where it's like, oh, what department do you work for? I work in the Department of Public Lies and Misinformation. Oh, okay. That seems like a healthy department to work for. Ooh, shelter. Watch your step. You know, there's been a lot of shelters, but I haven't found many people in them. The only people I've found inside a shelter was like Emily Pope, and she already had a HRA on her.
Elevator's broken.
You know, I figured the elevator would be broken, considering the fact that I could see places for me to fall down. And I believe there's a bad guy there. Hello, bad guy. I think I missed. There we go. And anywhere I could... It's convenient that there are all these places I could jump down. Truly, the main way to travel is not by elevator, but by falling. Also, kind of odd that there's just the one bad guy. I would have expected either more or nothing. Yeah, that's kind of fun. How the vent kind of deformed from her falling on top of it. I wonder if that does it on any spot. So I'm going to try to jump farther away. Yeah. That's a neat little addition. Okay. Now, where is the nice, neat way for me to jump down from here? I do not see it, so I'm going to fall... Oh, here we go. Hello. Take that. And that. Oh, and now I can cleanse this place. I would imagine there's eventually going to be a very specific control point that's going to occur right before a boss fight, which is likely going to be in the quarry itself, if I had to guess. Against said monster. Thank you for watching. Questions, comments, recommendations for something to play next? Comment down below or send it on over to itsoundedgoodonpaper@gmail.com. That's itsoundedgoodonpaper@gmail.com. So long for now.